see it's basically been confirmed that we were talking about Andy Robertson, and you asked the question last week, Daniel, about the potential of a return to Celtic. And I mentioned at the time, well, look, Spurs are clearly, obviously very interested. I think Spurs have now confirmed, or there's been confirmation of some sort that a discussion has already started between Andy Robertson and Spurs. But it is entirely dependent upon Spurs still being in the English Premier League next season, which is far from certain by the looks of stuff. So, Andy Robertson's going to World Cup, and I think it's really interesting as well that Andy Robertson, I don't know if he's come out, I think he did, didn't he? And said that there was no contract on the table. Liverpool didn't offer him anything.
Yeah, Liverpool didn't offer one.
It's quite staggering, isn't it?
I'm really surprised by that now.
Yeah, look, maybe Liverpool said, well, do you know what? You're past your sell by. You're not the player that you once were. I'm not sure there's a great deal of evidence for that. I think he's still a better left back than Kerkez. And I think that Andy Robertson is probably systematic of the problems that Arne Slot has at that club right now. That I think he's trying to sort of remodel and rejig the Jurgen Klopp team, the Jurgen Klopp generation. And I don't think he's doing a very good job of it. And I think that all he's actually doing is he's probably pissing some people off along the way. Virgil van Dijk doesn't look happy. Andy Robertson, he's clearly going to find himself another club. Mo Salah's away. And I feel that Andy Robertson's been particularly badly treated by Arne Slot. And I don't blame him for realising that now's as good a time as any to move on.
Do you not think there's also a need for a freshness, though, Keith?
Possibly.
And the fact that they've hung on to these guys for a season too long, maybe. I'm talking about more Van Dijk and Salah.
Aye.
Yeah,
I think you're trying to regenerate the team if you keep the old guys in. We saw that Chelsea tried to do it too quick, didn't they? When the manager went in there with Terry and Lamptey, ripped all of them out, and he tried to do it too. I think he tried to transition it, and I don't think it worked. Looking from afar, I'm not in with the bricks of Liverpool. I've got no idea how it. But just listening to some of the comment, Virgil van Dijk calling out the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Etihad, you're thinking, is there one group of boys in this new gang?
That's what I think. That's what I think, Swanee. That's what
has to put his eggs in one of those baskets, and he can't put it in the basket of the old brigade because they're coming to the end of their careers. So he's going to have to move one lot out. Kind of has that feel to me. When I heard Van Dijk talk after the Manchester City Cup tag, he basically just came out and said he's chucked it.
I came out and said we give up.
A captain doesn't do that if he's not looking at individuals within that dressing room and trying to out them, and he's outing them on the manager's behalf as well.
That's absolutely the vibe I've got, Swanee.
Absolutely outing them.
You've got a group of players in there that think that, probably Slot's trying to change too much unnecessarily and too soon. He went into that dressing room. It was Jurgen Klopp's team. Yeah. Swanee, you, me, and Dan could have taken over that team and won the English Premier League with them.
I think that's harsh, Keith. Because
I was just go out and do what Jurgen told you to do, guys. Just go and do that.
But then Jurgen Klopp didn't win it the season before, and managers get slaughtered when they come in and make a mess of it, and yet this guy wins the league, and we're like, well,
listen, the sensible thing to do was there's no need to make changes here.
I get that,
but he seems to be in an unseemly for me rush. Swanee thinks he's probably waited too long. I think he's trying to do too much too soon. He's trying to make too many changes. He was conscious of the fact that Mo Salah was such a huge player for them, but he wanted to find the solution to Mo Salah when Mo Salah was still the answer to the question. He wasn't the problem, and effectively now he looks as if his head's gone as well. So, yeah, I think it's a kind of unsatisfactory end to a kind of golden era for Liverpool and for Andy Robertson. But I tell you what, he should be nice and fresh for the World Cup because he hasn't been overplayed this season, and I dare say he'll arrive in America as a man with a bit of a point to prove as well.
And from a Scotland fan point of view, Keith, and from a Scottish football fan point of view, I'm actually quite glad that it ends this way. That he doesn't have an 18 months where he's absolutely horrendous for Liverpool and gets He goes out after having an incredible career there. Winning the biggest honour in club football is part of the journey, and he walks out with his head held tight. I don't
think there was any danger of him having a horrendous time, Swanee, but I do think there was a big danger of he could sit in his bum for almost all the next season. You know, even if they had given him a contract, Arne Slot.
That team continues to regress, Keith, and Kerkez gets injured and he's playing for it for 6 months. It go horrendously wrong pretty quickly because I'm bad shape as it is.
Yeah. Aye, well, true enough.
You could go and join the ever-improving on the up Tottenham.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
We'll find out what horrendous feels like.
It'll be interesting because Tottenham are 2 points off safety. They've still got Aston Villa away, Chelsea away, Everton, Brighton are their form team. They've got Brighton this weekend. I think Tottenham, Keith, will probably go down, to be honest.
I think they're in a mess. And I can understand entirely why Andy Robertson is sat down. He knows that there's a big interest there. He probably has a fair idea of what sort of wages he would have been looking at because, you know, Tottenham were at the table for him back in January. And Slot didn't allow it to happen at that point. So he'll have an idea of what the entire financial package is. It must be pretty impressive, certainly enough for him to want to reopen these discussions. But yeah, like it's one thing getting all that deal thrashed out, but if Spurs can't keep themselves in the top flight, then it's a move that Andy Robertson won't make. So we are next.
John says in the comments, Big Ange will be laughing up his cuff at the Spurs situation.